It's 6 a.m. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the news bulletin here on 3FM 92.7. We're coming to you live from our studios here, number 35, John Hammond Street. We're also live on all our social media platforms at 3FM 92.7. My name is Noble Crosby Annan. Coming up this morning, brace up for more withdrawals in the NPP race. A political watcher predicts as reactions continue to coming after Alan Kyerematen's intense criticism of the NPP and withdrawal from the race to succeed President Akufo-Addo as flag bearer.
Telling them that if care is not taken before November 4, other contenders will also pull out. Are they expecting that one too?
Also, Office of the Special Prosecutor reseizes monies from Cecilia Dapa's house and refreezes her bank account after complying with earlier court orders.
You see how we are now saying we say because there's no way we could look at the laws and allow Madam Dapa to pull the money.
We shall hear shortly from private legal practitioner Martin Pegbu shortly. Plus, President Akufo-Addo says fight against illegal mining is yielding positive results, but environmental advocates question his commitment.
Because the president knows, the president is very much aware that there's no real fight going on against illegal mining. The illegal miners have taken over various communities.
We'll get details on that shortly. And Public Accounts Committee of Parliament to haul officials of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission (GTEC) before it for delays in accrediting new programs for or renewing existing ones. We have details of these stories and more coming to you shortly. Please stay with us. Welcome to the program. Let's begin from the political front, as there are predictions there could be more withdrawals from the NPP flag bearer race after one of the front runners, Alan Kyerematen, withdrew from the contest on Tuesday. Now, the former trade minister claimed in a two-page statement that the contest has been strategically skewed in favor of one candidate, and his spokesman Yabu Abiasamoah says the NPP has acted with impunity throughout the process.
At the end of the day, intimidation, inducements, essentially fear has been at work. And it's all directed at restricting Mr. Kyerematen's ability to engage in a fair process. It is a fact, and it's obvious that everybody knows that candidate. I've spoken severally on your network about that particular candidate. The establishment candidate, it's not a secret. And indeed, it's not a secret that the process is leading up to this. The party has been acting with impunity. The party has taken decisions that have not been sustainable. For example, the conference that was delivered regionally was not fair.
You hear the voice of the spokesperson for Alan Kyerematen, Yabu Abiasamoah, speaking there. Now, the withdrawal of Kyerematen leaves 4 in the field now, but the number could drop further with claims by political analysts and observers that other candidates could step down. Here is a professor of political science, Ransford Jampo, and researcher Professor Smart Sapong.
If they say it is to be expected, are they also expecting other people, other contenders, other aspirants to also pull out of the November 4 race? If they are expecting other aspirants to also pull out, they should let us know. But I'm telling them that if care is not taken before November 4, other contenders will also pull out. Are they expecting that one too?
Yes, he was going to be a very force to reckon with on November 4th, but his absence doesn't mean a total win for any of the two frontline candidates. And I will advise that Dr. Owusu, Efri Akoto, and Mr. Adainimo would have followed suit. Their inroads are not going to be any way significant. And then we allow a proper straight fight between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Ken Ohene-Japan. Alan, as we all know, is a true party man. Because of that, I will be very surprised if he announces an alliance or throws his weight to any of the candidates.
You heard the voice of Professor Smart Sapong, but earlier was Professor Ransford Jampo, a political analyst, speaking there. To some other subjects this morning, and the Office of the special prosecutor has invoked its powers to still take custody of the money seized from former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Bnadapa days after the High Court asked the office to return same. The Accra High Court last week ordered the OSP to return the money in question and then freeze Mrs. Dapa's bank account. Although the OSP on Tuesday said it had complied with the order, it said investigations were still ongoing and believes the money in question is tainted, hence the decision to take custody of the amount. The OSP has also frozen Cecilia Dapa's accounts again. Meanwhile, private legal practitioner Martin Kwebu says it is welcoming news.
Because I was hoping that in the first court ruling, because this was likely to happen, I was hoping that at least His Lordship would have navigated the application well to avoid this one. But it had to happen because, look, Alfred, so you see how we are now saying, we say kiss, because there's no way we could look at the laws and allow Madam Dapa to go with the money. You see how now, with what the court is done, it's forced the OSP to now say that Madam Dapa's story is what, inconsistent, etc. So far, Madam Dapa hasn't demonstrated that she can earn that income from being a minister. So there's no way we're going to just sit and let her take the money back under some rules.
The voice of private legal practitioner and political commentator Martin Kwebu there. To some other subjects this morning, an environmentalist have questioned President Akufo-Addo's commitment to fighting illegal mining after he said his government's efforts in dealing with the canker are yielding positive results. Addressing a gathering of African leaders at the ongoing African Climate Summit in Kenya, the president said the ban on illegal mining and flagship projects like the One Village, One Dam are contributing to the fight against climate change.
We're also determined to make natural gas, which we have in abundance, available for the generation of electricity. We placed a ban on illegal mining, the phenomenon we call galamsey, which was destroying our water bodies, vegetation, and our forests. Some 20,000 young people have been engaged to plant more than 30 million trees in 2 years to create jobs and restore degraded land. These policy initiatives are already using positive results to the attainment of the SDG goals, particularly the goal of reducing our carbon emissions.
That was President Akufo-Addo speaking there, but coordinator of environmental pressure group Eco-Citizens, Awula Sewa, says the president does not have a full grasp of the situation.
Because the president knows. The president is very much aware that there's no real fight going on against illegal mining. Illegal miners have taken over various communities. So we can see what is happening, murders taking place, our forests disappearing. So for the president to make these comments in Kenya, it's really, I can't find the words. He's our president and we need to talk about him respectfully.
The voice of coordinator of environmental pressure group Eco-Citizens speaking there. Well, Africa's position on dealing with the global climate crisis is to be formally communicated later today as the inaugural Africa Climate Summit climaxes today. The three-day event has seen over 22 African leaders of state and world leaders converge in identifying solutions to the threat of global warming. Eric Marinagbeta is our man at the summit, and he reports.
After an eventful first 2 days, with day 2 particularly witnessing high-profile delegations make express financial commitments to the African continent and its leadership in relation to grants and monies to help with dealing with the climate challenge on the continent. Today, being the last day, there's expectation of the Nairobi Declaration. That declaration is expected to have copious details of what Africa's position will be going into COP28. The foremost of it all really has been the demand for a restructuring of the global financial architecture. That will be pivotal in that declaration, which is expected much later today.
Eric Marina Egbeta filed that report. Now, the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament is considering inviting the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission and the various universities to address the delay in accrediting new programs or renewing existing ones. In the view of the chair of the committee, James Kluchavegi, the prolonged accreditation process for university programs adversely affects students who require their certificates for further education or employment.
There is a need for us to bring the two bodies together so that we look at where the problem is and how we can iron it, so that we don't examine students on programs and courses that do not have accreditation. I can say that the delay in granting the courses partly come from the universities themselves. If you know that the process takes 2 years, you don't wait until the accreditation for that course expires before you start the process.
You heard the voice of James Kluchavegi, who is the chair of the Public Accounts Committee, speaking there. Now, the Information Minister, Kojo Nkrumah, has encouraged members of the International Advertisers Association to build future-ready brands, including leveraging on artificial intelligence. Now, speaking in Accra at the IAA's Interactive Regional Conference, Kojo Nkrumah urged advertising practitioners to make brands relevant for sustainability.
A brand is not the form, the creative identity, or its colors and letters, as you know. It's the substance of what it delivers. In a contemporary context, brands are increasingly expected to uphold ethical and social responsibilities. And that is why at every point of interaction, a brand is expected to be a testament of unwavering dedication to performance.
The voice of Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah there. Now, briefly, before we go, the Finance Minister, Kenneth Frat, has expressed optimism about the country's meeting all reviews in order to access the second tranche of the IMF program. Ghana is seeking a $3 billion bailout, out of which $600,000 have already been accessed in the country. Kenneth Frat made this known at the first CEO's breakfast meeting organized by the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. That's how we wrap up on the morning news here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Noble Crosby Annan. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. Please log on for more. Good morning.